What's up, grinders? It's Jez7780 here with a Grinds Gaming Bite. We're back. I'm glad to bring you this new content and some nice little snippets. If you're new here, this is basically a shorter version of the Gaming Grindhouse where I focus on about a couple of topics here and just give my impressions on it. But if you're new here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we are ready to go. We got two hot topics that I'm glad I was able to get on. PSVR 2, they finally showcased the headset for it. And the next thing, Call of Duty will not have a release in 2023, Activision confirms. Let's talk about it, grinders. All right. What's up, everybody? Again, I want to thank everybody for coming on to the crazy gaming grindhouse on Monday night. It was 8:30. We just had a killer show. Shout out to Frogs and Link for jumping into the grindhouse. We had over 165 people live. Show's over 2,000 views right now. It's amazing. Thank you again. I was out last week, wasn't feeling well, and I was so glad to be back and back with a vengeance with my soundboard grinders and everybody in the gaming grindhouse. I want to thank everybody here. So so let's get into these topics here. We got the PSVR 2 was finally revealed, the headset, to show the full design. We saw what the controls looked like, and now we've seen what the headset looked like and a little bit of features are basically about the headset. No release date yet on it, but we do have a visual here, so let me show that to you now, and we got it right there. There it is. So as you can see, the difference with the PSVR 2 is that this has inside-out tracking. So basically,
audio capture,
similar to the Oculus,
registered.
The Quest 2, there are cameras on the outside of the headset. It's not utilizing the webcam or whatever that we use with the PSVR 2 or any external sensors they have to set up in a room, or the PSVR, the first one that we had, where it actually would sense the lights on the system. So basically, if you hid those lights or you turned and you obstructed that view, like a 360 view, you couldn't, the system would just not register you if you were out of the view, or if you had it above the TV, below the TV. It definitely was an antiquated way of tracking. It worked, but not to the fidelity and the freedom of moving fully 360 degrees, and even having that room scale that the Oculus and the Vive actually brought, where you could actually step a couple of steps here and there and walk around an environment. This now will have that with the inside-out tracking. These 4 cameras on the front will scan the room and actually measure where you are in that room, so you could walk around in there. Now, as you notice, it's not wireless. It is powered with one cable, and I bet you that's where that USB-C in the front of the PS5 is at, where you'll be able to plug that in. Controllers have the same kind of haptic feedback and adaptive triggers that the DualSense currently has right now. Plus, there's rumble motors and 3D vibration inside the headset itself that will affect there. Maybe things I was talking about when they first announced it. Maybe things in Gran Turismo, like if you drove down with the windows or drove a convertible, you'll feel the vibration of the wind coming through you. Or as you're shooting, or if you get a headshot, somebody shoots you in the head or in a game or something like that, you feel a vibration. It's gonna be pretty freaky, but I could definitely see moments where that could be utilized. So that is really interesting. Again, 3D audio, haptic feedback. We see how effective it is right now, just with the controller in hand
capture,
and with
registered
headsets. Imagine now with this in individual hands, and now having a fully immersed VR headset with those features and capabilities. It's going to be absolutely insane. The other details that they described is the inspiration behind it. So basically, it looks similar with the curves to the DualSense controller. If you look at the DualSense definitely has this kind of visual of like this wider curvature in the front where the touchpad is, and how it's like wider up top. And they kind of took that inspiration, they said, with the headset itself. again, one of the most the popular thing for me, the reason why I stuck with, even though it had lower fidelity VR than the Vive that I had, was the design of the headset. And one of the things that I thought was incredible with this is that they kept, I was very happy that they kept it. But to explain what it is, basically, is that it's almost like a visor where the pressure of the headset sits on the top of your forehead. When I have the Vive was higher fidelity and more powerful games. But the issue was that the headset would give you that goggle effect. It put pressure on the front of your face and around the back of your head, and even on the top of your head with just the straps. And it wasn't using your skull to anchor it. It was using all the weight and pressure like a ski goggles. And you'll get this pressure around your face that will really bother you over some time and get sweaty and really just not feel comfortable, not feel immersive. It'll feel kind of uncomfortable there. And when I did the PSVR, the first one, I immediately did not have that pressure because it gives you this tilted head strap. And that uses the base of the back of your skull and the headset itself to keep this piece here, which is pretty light, kind of floating in front of you.
SWB audio capture.
This here is not touching your face or putting pressure on your face at all. Instead, all the pressure is kind of it's sitting up top here, but it's using the back part of your skull to kind of leave this suspended in the air, and then you would be able to pull it in and out if you have not used the PSVR. And it looks like they kept the same design with this, where you got your padding in the front, padding in the back, where it will be using your skull and the top of your forehead as leverage to hold this up here. The other thing, people complain that it's not wireless. Okay, well, the thing is that because it's wired, the PS5 has all the power and the battery and all that. There's no battery in here. So this thing is going to be pretty damn light. It's just going to be a screen with the sensors. So this could really just give you those longer sessions. You don't have to worry about heat with the battery and everything kind of sitting there, the motherboard, all that stuff sitting up in the front headset because this thing is wireless and everything is in the front headset. You know, that's always an issue with weight and, you know, having that fatigue, where the PlayStation's running it all. This is just a display with sensors on it, which is going to be pretty damn light. So I expect this to be almost just like a head visor right on the front of your head, which I think is going to be pretty awesome. To get into some more details, so this is the side view of it, and you can see as you could come in and out, basically similar to the person. They basically almost kept the same design of the first one, but there's less of plastic. Like they kind of have it slanted down here where there's less around the side of your head. So this is actually pretty good because you can see they have the little nodule here for the headbuds, because I'm sure they're gonna have earbuds that they get popped in here, and then they can pop in your ear, and then you can put them to rest if you want to use real headbands. But I think that's another cool design choice. But is by using this and making this plastic thin, you could actually use some real nice headphones and not the earbuds here, and actually go over your head with it. Because I noticed with the other VR, this was pretty thick, this band here across the middle here, and that would make where you had to really stretch out your headset, and it really felt like, you know, you're in a vice. Like you have this big thing over the head, you had this thick plastic kind of pressing on the side of your head, plus you had these big headphones on, and it was just a little too much like of your head in there. Where now it seems much more slick and less plasticky around the sides of your temples where that would go. So you could probably put a pair of headphones over there and not feel too much pressure on the side. So that's kind of different that they did that. But you could definitely see a lot of the bearing here, and even up here is going to use the top of your forehead and skull, and then this will use the backup. And as you know, the back of your skull. But as you know, with the dial here, you'll be able to dial that to put some more tension to the back of your head, so you're able to support the face. But again, this thing's floating out there, man, and it has these deep you know, panels here, which will block out any peripheral vision and peripheral light, and it looks pretty damn cool. And actually, what they were trying to show is how, you know, how the design choice, like they try to keep these curves and this kind of look of like similar to what they had with the headsets, where there's a swirl, there's these curves, and basically using the design of how they decided to do the PS5, and this kind of trying to keep it within the same family of devices. As you can see, it's white, you know, it's not a black headset. So here we go. Here, what they're saying: the design of the PSVR 2 headset was also inspired by the look of the PS5 family of products. When our design team created the PS5 console, they wanted a next generation VR headset in mind. So the flat edges mean to display on a flat surface. There's more emphasis by adding roundness to the design of the PSVR 2, similar to the rounded edges of the DualSense and the Pulse 3D headset. Their goal was to create a headset that would not only become an attractive part of the living room before, but also to keep you
audio
immersed in the
capture,
game world.
not
This is the fun
registered.
part here. That's why they paid very close attention to the ergonomics and conducted excessive testing to ensure a comfortable feel for a variety of head sizes. Pose. We already had a lot of positive feedback on the ergonomics of the first PSVR. See, exactly what I was saying. By carefully balancing the headset weight and having a simple headband that could be adjusted. So they kept the same concept with this one. Other features such as the headset's adjustable scope that places this area closer or further away from the face placement, and the stereo headphone jack will remain the same, so players are familiar with it. So it seems like the PSVR version 2, this is PSVR 2, but there was a version 2 of the original PSVR. This one's going to keep that similar design of the earbuds going in there where they'll just stick on the bottom. But you could see the amount of padding and definitely much more stability here. Like the original one only had like a little cushion up top, and this cushion was pretty substantial in the back. But you definitely see they have this high visor and really interesting. And these controls by themselves is a huge upgrade, because now you're going to have true analog control with the game. Like, you didn't have that with the Move controllers. You had light bars with buttons on them, and they did not go well with any analog control or even D-pad control. You had no movement in there, and it was just on both the right or the left. Like, you just had face buttons, a triangle, and it was those controls were not made for operating with your eyes closed, because that's basically what you're doing with those Move controllers in the first VR. Is basically you're working on a system that was supposed to be made for like a Wiimote type thing, and you're basically having to control this thing without looking at the buttons, like triangle, home button. Like, it was not real. They didn't redesign them either. They just used the same ones. They worked, but it didn't work in these games as they got more complex. Not having analog sticks, really, what they did was said use the controller. Basically, now this thing basically is a controller split in half, and you can see, they have the two buttons on either side. They're gonna have the adaptive triggers, plus they're gonna have the full motion movement of everything, and it's gonna be more natural because you're actually in a fit. You have a fist rather than holding an orb like a stick. You're gonna be actually holding like clenched fists, like having two fists rather than holding a Joy-Con or those sticks, the basically Move controllers. Then this is the other thing that was really good, is that they have a lens adjustment dial, so the users have an option now, a physical adjustment dial. In the original one, you had to do this through software, basically saying the measurement of your the distance from your pupils. You had to measure the distance from your pupils, and that was kind of so you make sure you get the full 3D effect. That's the whole reason why you want to do your pupils, the distance between your two pupils. And now with this, now you have an adjustment lens dial, so you're easily those lenses that are in there, they could actually move, so you can make sure that they're optimally aligned with your middle of the pupil, so you get the full 3D effect, and you don't get any kind of blur or any kind of artifacting when you get that, because when things move fast and you get a blur, those things hit you pretty hard if it's continuing to do that, like for motion sickness and things like that. Plus, you want to get the full 3D effect. You want it to look like you want to be immersed in it, and that's the whole thing. It's all about immersion. So they added a lens adjustment dial, which is pretty awesome. They had that. They also create a slimmer design for weight reduction. That's what I was talking about with the plastic. And even added new features such as the built-in motor of the headset feedback, as I was mentioning earlier. Quite a challenge to create a slimmer design by adding more hardware to it, they say.
Not registered.
But this is pretty interesting, and this is something that I wanted to really talk about here, is that they focused on one area, which was venting. And you'll be like, venting? What's that? Well, when you have your face on a closed environment. Now, it wasn't as bad on the on the PlayStation VR because, like I mentioned, it didn't give you that ski goggle effect. Like, it wasn't cramped onto your face where when you were breathing, all your moisture and the humidity and stuff would fog up the lenses. And then you'll be getting not this clear vision when you're trying to get the 3D effect in VR. The PSVR didn't have that as bad, but if you did more of Beat Saber and things like that, and you were getting sweaty and stuff, heavy breathing and stuff will definitely move up and fog the lenses. But you would get that effect more on the Oculus or on the Vive, where it was a ski goggle effect that you have to make it real tight, but the bridge of your nose will let air through, and then that air would then start fogging up the lenses, so you're constantly, taking off your headset and having to clean the lenses to remove the fog and, the fogging up the goggles. Similar to like swim goggles or ski goggles or anything like that. And I even remember buying, anti-fog lens cleaner for my VR headsets, where you would use this anti-fog thing similar to what they use the ski goggles and for swim goggles to clean the lenses with the anti-fog so that you don't get that effect. But now with this is really cool. So when they started to work on the design of the PSVR 2, the areas I wanted to focus on was the venting in the headset to let air out, not trap moist air that cause the lenses to fog. And they created a vent similar to the PS5 console that allows for airflow. So the engineers came up with an idea as a good way to allow ventilation and avoid having the lens fog up while players are immersed in VR. I worked on many design concepts to achieve this.
Not
and in the final design, you can see that there's a little space in between the top and the front surface of the scope that contains integrated ventilation. I am proud of how this turned out and the positive feedback I've gotten so far. I hope PlayStation fans would agree. I can't wait for them to try out. That's really awesome because, with games that are getting more intense and stuff like that, fogging is going to be more common. Sitting there chilling, looking at a map or, sitting there watching a movie and stuff, you're not going to get the venting unless you're a heavy breather. Like that stuff. But basically, pause, oh man. But, basically that. But as you're doing like games like Beat Saber, doing like a boxing game and things like that, when you're doing that stuff, like it might fog up. And the fact that they got this ventilation in there and it's kind of just letting air in and out and having a flow go, that will be awesome because that will prevent, fogging up. Because again, fogging up stinks because then you got to take off your headset, you got to clean it all up, and now your lenses all blurry, and that's the thing. It takes you out of the immersion, and then you don't want to do that. You want to be totally immersed. So they added the little PlayStation symbols, the tiny symbols we added, similar to what they did on the PS5 and the DualSense. And when it launches, so this I heard people saying, well, it wasn't going to come out this year. I don't know. I'm thinking it's going to come out this holiday, kind of like what they did with the first VR headset. But there are plenty of new features to show. This is the first time this is going to have 4K HDR state-of-the-art graphical rendering. And the VR Sense technology, such as headset feedback, the innovative Sense controller of those two controllers there, and deep feeling of immersion. Additionally, the PSVR system comes in as a simple single-corded setup that you can connect to your games immediately. PSVR development kits are already in the hands of game creators. That's awesome. And we're excited excited for what they come up with and truly make virtual reality a remarkable experience for gamers. We look forward to sharing more details about PSVR. Stay tuned. Man, having your cake and eat it too, man. This is after being immersed and amazed by Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm sorry, and Zero Dawn, but Forbidden West. And knowing, Gran Turismo is coming out with that immersion that's going to happen with the controller and that game, what that looks like. And God of War down to Spider-Man. It's just amazing how this company really is making gaming exciting. And doing it in all facets, whether it's with PlayStation Nows and, adding some games to that thing, really flexing their PlayStation Plus stuff with putting some real decent games in there month on month. And then on top of that, giving amazing exclusive games. And then on top of that, making amazing partnerships to make these games benefit from utilizing the PS5. And then on top of all that, PSVR. Dev kits are in people's hands already. How are they doing this? Like, I just don't. It's amazing how they are firing on all cylinders. And it's exciting. As a hardcore gamer, just as a gamer in general, this is going to be incredible because this is a fully integrated VR with this console in mind. You know, with the PS4 Pro, it was just a boosted console that, you know, could do VR, and they kind of use like Frankenstein method technology where they said, okay, let's use the Move controllers, let's use the let's use the old technology that we had with the light detection, and it was kind of like a scrap together design. It worked, and it actually worked pretty well, but they got themselves in the talk. And they got developers on board and came out with exclusive games.
SWB audio
and we got some of the great games
not
from
registered.
PC ported over. Now they got it again because they were in the conversation. Microsoft, they finagled. They promised high fidelity VR, didn't deliver on it. Try to say, oh, well, Samsung and HP are making headsets. We're going to sell them in our stores. Well, that didn't work out. Oh, you could do Excel charts on the wall, you know, in this virtual desktop world. And it's like, that didn't work out. That was all Windows 10 pushed. Or this virtual, that didn't work out. HoloLens 1 and 2 came out. Never even saw the light of day for a consumer product. And then HoloLens 3 got canceled. The dude that made Def Jam Vendetta, whatever, that they brought him over. That I forgot his name, but the Shades. He left. He was the HoloLens and Kinect dude. And yeah, HoloLens 3 is done. So like Microsoft's just not in the conversation. And they want to talk metaverse and meta stuff. This is going to lead you into meta. Sony's going to make environments and worlds. I can't wait. And they even revived the dashboard. So imagine what they're going to do with VR when this is fully imagined, because this was in the works when PlayStation 5 was being made. And we got the most huge power. And you want to see power of a system? Yeah, Horizon Forbidden West definitely demonstrates power. But wait till we see with this VR and this immersion with 3D immersion and sound and tactile feel. I am hyped, man. I'm just thankful that somebody's doing something, because if everybody was doing what the other one was doing, I don't know about gaming. I would just be like, you know, I don't know. But this stuff is really awesome. Like, I'm glad that they're in the conversation, because this is just adding more and more. And then know what this is going to bring. Like I said, it's about the games. Or, as our friend says,
enough from me. We're going to have the games do our talking.
Yeah.
SWB audio capture.
This is
not
just going
registered.
to bring more and more new games, even ports of other VR games. But this is going to bring a whole slew of new experiences to the PlayStation platform. And that's what I'm excited about. Man, more games to play, add it to the backlog, but more interactive experiences. I'm telling you, I'm going around with Horizon Forbidden West and like installing it and showing, bringing everybody in that I know. I'm like, look at this. And people are like, this is a game? I'm like, yeah, this is a game. Like, do you remember those days? Like, Mom, Dad, you know, friends, get in here. Let me show you something. And you turn it on. You're like, look at this. Welcome to next gen. Like, this is what games look like? Well, this one looks like that. It's just such an awesome feeling. You feel like you're a kid again. And that's where I just am so enthusiastic about this. And I can't wait when the VR 2 comes out to go, everybody, VR party. Let's go. Bring the hand sanitizer, though, and the wipes. So, we're just going to wrap this up on a little bit of a, I don't know if this is a good or bad note, but the other thing I wanted to talk about here is this breaking news that just came out today about Bloomberg now is saying that Activision is not going to release Call of Duty in 2023. So, breaking news, Activision will not be releasing a new Call of Duty in 2023, delaying it by a year. I know this was mentioned when they were talking about the acquisition, but this year's new Modern Warfare game will still release this fall, and it's just and they're taking next year off. So if you're aware of this whole Activision Microsoft deal, that deal's not set to be until next year, maybe sometime if they don't get any more, pushback, but they're getting a lot of things looking at them. a lot of FTC and things like that are really
SWB
like,
audio capture
analyzing this.
not registered.
But they expect it to go maybe in the fall, in the summertime. But this, so there will be no Call of Duty. But what they said is after that Activision Microsoft deal, that's when a lot of the games are going to go to Game Pass. Well, that's not going to happen next year. There's not going to be a Call of Duty next fall to release to be put in Game Pass. So we need to see, you know, the benefits of this whole $70 billion purchase. You know, is it going to be just to bring old Activision games into the system? But actually, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it, Grant, now I'm thinking about the next thing that came out here is that here, look at this. Activision is working on other projects to fill the gap next year. A Call of Duty game set to come out this fall will receive steady stream of additional content, and there will be new free-to-play online titles and there'll be a new free-to-play online title next year. Probably that Warzone 2. Treyarch, the Activision-owned studio, is working on the now delayed game, which is not coming out next year. So Treyarch will have 2 years to work on it. Also, this will help the free-to-play title that people will have played next year. So apparently there's going to be a free-to-play, so they're probably going to use Warzone 2 probably to fill in the gap. And maybe they'll make another Crash Bandicoot or something like that, or something along those lines, that they'll make another project out. Or maybe Overwatch 2. You know, maybe Overwatch 2 and Warzone 2 come out next year to fill up Activision's lineup. Activision wasn't known for, excuse me, releasing a slew of games. You know, they kind of rested on their laurels of Call of Duty. So if they're not coming out with a Call of Duty next year, I'm sure they're going to utilize and leverage Warzone 2 and probably maybe, you know, Overwatch 2. And probably those will be the releases. Maybe a Crash Team Racing 2. You know, I'm just throwing it out there. And that'll probably be in Game Pass, maybe
SWB audio
Xbox,
capture
you know,
not
like what they did
registered.
with Starfield. Basically, if they didn't buy Bethesda this year, what would be coming out of Microsoft Studios? Maybe if Forza gets announced, that would be it. So, you know, maybe next year you're looking at it, you know, I don't know if Fable and Perfect Dark, maybe Hellblade 2 comes out next year. And maybe Avowed and Hellblade 2 come out next year. And then you're looking at maybe an Activision game. But we know that Overwatches and Call of Duties will probably be multi-platform on there. So, again, it's really... I don't know, man. This whole Activision thing, like now, I don't know. Maybe now that they got Big Daddy Microsoft money, they could be like, hey, you know what? We don't need to have Treyarch break their arms and legs and throw another Call of Duty out next year. We could have Treyarch hang out with the mimosas on Sunday with Phil and friends and 343, and they could just, like, you know, just chill because we don't need to put the pressure on because Microsoft's fronting the bill. We don't need to do that. And, you know, we kind of seen this across the board, like with their purchases, like these studios that were putting games out, you know, once Microsoft bought them, they kind of like went into the you know, rebuilding phase and just kind of chilled out there and not kind of releasing games on a cadence at all. They're like, yeah, let's go. Like, that's why it's been taking years. 2018, like I mentioned, we haven't seen it. So I don't know. I don't know if this is the Microsoft effect. I don't know if this is just Activision just a mess right now, but again, it's just, you know, you see this huge amount of money of $70 billion, and then you just go, okay, well, Activision's kind of, they're in disarray. So they're working on other projects. Call of Duty is going to skip a year next year, so I think Modern Warfare this year was going to be awesome. I think that's going to be enough to carry a lot of people. And giving Treyarch 2 years to work on the game, maybe that Call of Duty is incredible and comes out in 2024. But I don't know. It's just
SWB audio capture not registered.
Microsoft's buying Activision. The first year that they're possibly going to own them, they're not going to release a Call of Duty game. Like, they're not buying these companies in there, and I don't know if that's because I don't know, but like, it's just, why is it when they purchase them, it's like, wait to E3, wait again. Like, why is it when Microsoft buys somebody, it's like, wait, you know? I don't know, man. It's just so strange. It's just a head scratcher. It's like this black hole of studios and content, and we have no gameplay, no release dates, no seasons, nothing. 343 and Halo is just in a disarray, and stay tuned for a video on that. of like their mid-season update. Like they just seem like they're just trying to respond to all the criticism and not, even though it got 10 out of 10s and perfect game, Halo's back, nobody's playing it and the content's not there. Like even 343, who used to have, like, they had better content rollout with Halo 5 than they're having with Halo Infinite, and they went into Halo Infinite knowing that it was going to be a service game, and they just are not prepared. I just don't know what's going on over there, and you see, this Activision was not firing on all cylinders. They have a lot of issues. But I would love to know, if Microsoft was never going to buy them, would Treyarch have a game next year? I bet your ass they would. But I don't know. I really don't know. But all I know is that we won't be getting a Call of Duty next year. We'll probably be getting a Warzone 2, and whatever they want to come up with in that thing. So, you know, and I already said the Phil Spencer effect of mimosas on Sunday is already working. You know, Big Daddy Kodak's like, hey, we don't need to release a game next year. Microsoft's going to pay us $70 billion.
Audio capture,
and I'm out of here.
Not registered.
I don't know. It's so messy. And you want to know what? Coming off of that VR news and how amazing and exciting our experience is going to be as gamers, talking about the business and Microsoft money and Activision not releasing games, it just shows you that like, it's disappointing. But, you know, hopefully, you know, look on the positive side. Maybe Treyarch now comes out with an incredible game. I think this year's Modern Warfare, I'm excited for it because I love the last one. I love the new engine. Vanguard, I hated going back to that engine. Like, it was decent. I like the gore aspect of it. But with, you know, Modern Warfare's engine, when they redid that, that was really cool. And we'll see. There's supposed to be, they're working on this free-to-play title. I'm thinking it's Warzone 2, but if it's not, you know, they're going to come up with a new IP free-to-play that could compete with Warzone. I don't know. It's really strange. So we will find out. But this was just breaking news. Like, so I don't know, you know, if, when news comes out tomorrow or things like that, will this, you know, there'll be more details on it. But all we know is that there seems to be that they confirmed that they will not be releasing a Call of Duty game in 2023, delaying it a year. So the last Call of Duty that we're going to get is this year, 2022, and then the next one we will see will be in 2024 of our traditional Call of Duties. Now, probably they're going to have content for Modern Warfare. Who knows? Maybe the game that we get this fall is a little light, knowing that they got to stretch out Call of Duty for over a year because the next one's going to be in 2024. And this will be the first Call of Duty this year that will probably be in Game Pass. Oh, man, I don't even want to start with speculations on that, Grinders.
SWB audio capture.
Hit that like button.
Registered.
Hit that subscribe button. Be a VIP grinder. And you can get these awesome new emojis that you saw in the Gaming Grindhouse on Monday nights. Again, Monday nights at 8:30. We did it at 8 o'clock. But I want to thank everybody for checking out this video. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button. The Grindhouse is growing. We're over 1,200 subscribers, and it just keeps growing. And I want to thank everybody for their support. And I got tons more content coming from you, from Mr. Grinder himself. So thank you, everybody. And this has been a Grinds Gaming Bite. See you later.